2008. 2008 was the last time that we saw a bank collapse of this magnitude. If you've been on the internet in the past couple of days, then you've probably heard about Silicon Valley Bank collapsing. I'm not going to get into why or how this collapse happened. I'm sure you can find other videos about that, but in this video, I want to talk about the implications that this collapse has on the crypto community. All things I talk about in this video are speculative, and they are my own personal ideas of what I think is going to happen based on the current financial situation. So the first thing we have to get out of the way is that this is pretty tragic. I mean, a lot of people had their money invested into this bank, and they've simply lost it at the moment. The first thing that makes this event extremely relevant is the location of the bank. Silicon Valley Bank is located in Silicon Valley, and as you know, Silicon Valley is full of tech people. Now, tech people may be a word that's very broad, but for me it means people that know how to use technology well and can adapt easily as new technology comes out and they're in the industry of technology. As a result, people that live in this community tend to be fairly well off because it's a very expensive neighborhood to live in and they have well-paying jobs. You could say that a lot of these people are part of the top 1% earners of America. This means that the clientele for these SVB banks are basically a lot of tech people that have a lot of high earning jobs and that are very tech savvy, all living in one place where there's a lot of money pooled together. Having high earning jobs means that they tend to deposit a lot of money in their banks as well. Whether this be for investment purposes or simply for stocking their money, they have a lot of money in these SVB banks. Now, when SVB officially closed and collapsed, this isn't really what you want to hear because now there are a lot of people with a lot of money that no longer have access to their funds because their funds essentially don't exist anymore. There was uncertainty at first about what would transpire and what would happen going forward, but last night, on Sunday, March the 12th, the government announced that they would in fact bail out this bank and everybody that had funds invested would receive their funds back from this bank. Of course, this is troublesome because this is not the first bank that has gone through this situation. And not every single time that a bank's gone through this situation has the government come and simply bailed out the bank and given people their money back. You may ask why they decide to do this. I don't know. Is it because they're tech industry people that are very high earners that you don't necessarily want to upset? How would people react to this bailout? Sure, the people that are getting their money back would be happy, but the people from the previous bank that hadn't been bailed out, they definitely wouldn't feel too well knowing that they didn't get help and these people in this situation now are getting help. We have some footage here of people trying and lining up to withdraw money from their banks. There were huge, enormous lines, and I'm going to show you a video right from Twitter. Here, I have a video on Twitter of what the lineups were like trying to withdraw their money from these SVB banks. And what this reminded me of when I first saw it were how the people were lining up in Russia once the sanctions were declared, trying to withdraw and buy crypto with that money to be able to send it out of the country. It's very, very sad to see, and I truly feel for these people, uncertain of if they will even have their funds anymore. And even if the government does bail out this bank, then what does that mean for world markets? In my opinion, this is the government basically showing that at any point, at any time, they are capable of printing money. The last time this happened was 2021, and that was when markets were in euphoria. Everything was skyrocketing up, crypto was on a boom, all stocks were going up, tech stocks were going up. Sure, this was right after the pandemic, but still everybody was on a euphoric high, investing everything they could, money was coming in, no problem. Well, as you know, right now we are essentially in a very inflation-heavy market. And the fact that the government is going to start printing money is not going to help inflation whatsoever. All this is going to do is cause short-term booms in markets because people now have money. They think, okay, everything's back to normal, we have money, let's throw it into the markets, let's make some money off stocks, off crypto, off whatever you want. But in reality, at some point, that money that you've received is going to run out. These markets won't go up forever, and still being in an inflationary market, we're going to need some actual data seen that shows that we're going out of the inflation period to support that these markets are going up. This is essentially people trading news when the reality and the foundation is still looking pretty bad. However, as you know, our main focus on this channel is crypto. And this is what I think is going to happen to crypto given what just happened over the last couple of days. Alright guys, so I just want to go over some of the charts and just show you what some of the implications of this are in the short term. So let's start off before anything with the SVB chart. So here you can see that it's currently not even trading because at the moment it basically doesn't exist. There are no markets, they have closed the bank. But if we go back 5 days, we will see that in the past 5 days it was trading around about $275, something like that. And then on Thursday, so right at open on Thursday at 9:30 a.m., it plummeted down from 267 to 172, and then continued on all the way to close on Thursday to $106. Now, off the top of my head, this is more than 50% loss in one day, and it would have continued to go lower if they hadn't stopped trading on this stock. I am sure of it. And here I want to show you the short-term implications for the crypto market. This is what I was talking about, the euphoria. Bitcoin up 13% almost in the last 24 hours. Now, this is insane, but at the same time, I do understand it, because think about it. These people that are taking their money out of the banks, they don't trust the banks. I wouldn't trust the banks. Where are they going to put this cash? Well, they're going to put it into the best, or at least most well-known, most proven cryptocurrency. And at the moment, that is Bitcoin. So we can see that this is a huge spike coming on from Thursday. And especially today, once trading open, they could have sold stocks. Some other people, potentially, not even from the banks, but people just don't have faith anymore. They've sold out, they've liquidated, they've gotten into crypto, and they have been looking as Bitcoin, because when you start with crypto, you look at Bitcoin first. It just makes sense. Now, you can see this is across the board gains. I mean, they're not as high as Bitcoin. Bitcoin clearly outperforming, and altcoins usually do tend to follow. But Ethereum is also doing nicely at about 7.6. BNB is performing well. We have a lot of coins that are essentially going to rise in value in the short term. But I do not think this will be a bull market. This is not the start of the bull market. I do think we will go lower. I hope we catapult and just go ballistic, but unfortunately I do not think that is the case yet. However, regardless of whether we do go down to newer lows, lower lows, whatever, this is definitely a good direction for crypto, because people are seeing the true use case and the true need for something like crypto. Decentralization, owning your own assets, this is what it was intended for, and unfortunately the world is currently showing us why it is needed. Now, the problem is that after this initial euphoria, then slowly, the markets are going to grind to a halt, because inflation is still on the rise. When we start seeing some sort of positive indicator, such as a positive CPI, then we can start considering that maybe we're back in a bull market. But until then, we shouldn't be too overly excited that this is all turned around and it's all fixed. The reality is that we aren't market makers and we don't know what's going to happen, but what we can do is keep ourselves safe. So although we are experiencing this euphoria, everything's booming, we're happy, you can get in and do some trading if you want. But on a macro level, I still think we are going to go lower before we eventually go up higher. Now, from a logical standpoint, why could this event be a catalyst for crypto going into the future? Well, I'll tell you right now. A lot of Generation Z, myself included, have begun losing faith in traditional banking institutions. And as more and more people start to realize that, hey, wait, my money's in there, but when I need it, I actually can't take it out, or it could just disappear, although it's the 16th largest bank in America, then they're gonna start to search for alternatives. Okay, how can I keep my assets and my money safe? I don't want to keep it in a bank anymore. And what are they gonna do? Generation Z, especially the ones in Silicon Valley, they're pretty tech savvy, so they kind of know how to use a computer, I think. They're gonna start looking for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for other stable coins maybe, to store their assets online, because that way they have full control. Nobody can take it away from them if they're smart and they learn what they're doing and they protect their free seed and everything like that. And basically Bitcoin and some of the cryptocurrencies, not all, but some of the more well-established ones, so I can always vouch for Bitcoin. I don't think Ethereum's going anywhere. These will come sort of neo-securities, or securities that people look for as alternatives to gold or bonds or traditional banking services. And on top of that, this shows the true need for a decentralized stablecoin. USDC had billions of real assets supporting it in Silicon Valley Bank. Now, you may say this was a planned attack, you may not. I'm not going to get into it. That's your own idea, and it's up for you to decide. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think this was planned, targeted attack against crypto, no comment. But this shows that we need a stablecoin that is decentralized and not pegged to any real-life assets, because real-life assets can disappear. I know Binance has mentioned this before, and maybe that's something they're going to look into and we can look forward to in the future, because an algorithmic-based decentralized stablecoin would definitely help the community if it is done right and properly. Now, as a long-term investor, I feel more inclined than ever before to invest into crypto. Although I may be uncertain of the waters going forward over the next couple months, and I might not throw all of my capital into some of these coins that I've been looking at, I do believe that this catalyst will project crypto even higher up than it would have initially in the next year or 2 years, or whenever we re-enter a bullish market. I want to be able to move my assets whenever I want. I want to know that I can take out my hard wallet and I have everything that I own on there. It's not in some bank. I don't have to make a withdrawal request and wait weeks until the bank actually has those funds available to me. And you ask, why would I want to do this? Well, look at some of the examples. Canada recently froze bank accounts for some people speaking up for what they believed in, but was against what the government was believing in. And this bank, the 16th largest bank in America that's been around since 1983, poof, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. This should not be happening in a country with over 300 million people. A company trusted by millions of tech startup companies in the area. And these are intelligent people with great ideas that are searching for somewhere to keep the funds and the capital and everything they have that's helping their business run. You aren't fully in control of your funds, and younger generations are not going to like that. We want to touch everything, we want to know it's ours, and we want to be able to do with it whatever we like. Right now, I think the government's scared, and they're looking for any way to make this look okay. They want to look like heroes. They want to come out and say, yeah, we're going to bail you out, we're going to give you all this money, and we're going to save the day. But in reality, that is not what they're going to do by bailing out these people. And don't get me wrong, I'm very happy that they're bailing them out and that these people that have no reason to lose their money are going to receive their money back because it is their money and should receive it back. But this will only prolong the bear market until we get some real optimistic news of things turning around and inflation slowing down. So in summary, I'm not telling you to put everything you own into crypto. Of course, bank accounts are still around and they're going to be around forever. Banks are not just going to simply disappear overnight. All I'm saying is be cautious. Instead of only banking with one institution, consider banking with 3, 4, or 5 different banks. Spread your assets out between a couple different bank accounts. That way you know if one bank does collapse, you don't have everything you own in that one particular bank. You're still okay. Of course, it would still suck to lose your assets, but at least you're kind of covering your bases here, making sure you're protected in the long term. Again, I don't think a bank run is very probable, but you never know, and you don't want to be caught out in the open if it does come to that. What I am simply saying is that crypto offers us something that traditional banks don't. You have access to your funds whenever. You are in control of your funds. Nobody is using them to do their own investing. It is up to you and solely up to you what you do with these funds. Am I saying Bitcoin is as secure as gold? No, of course not. But it offers something towards the future. It offers something that more and more people are going to be looking into and attaining because they will see the value. And situations like this will only make this more and more apparent to the mass media and general population. Remember, this is not financial advice by any means. You do what is best for you and what you think is safe. I am not a financial advisor. I am just saying a little bit about what I think happened and what I think this is going to do for the markets in the future, specifically the crypto markets. If you have anything to say or want to say what you think happened, if you think this was a planned attack against crypto, let me know in a comment down below. I'd be happy to discuss and see what your opinions on it are. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button because it really does help out the channel. Give us a like too, and see you guys next time. Bye.